ever since I was asked to, recommend books, it's been kind of keeping me awake at night. How do you pick? So this is week 3, and I was going to talk about a book of short stories, but I'll do that next week. The reason I picked the book I'm going to talk about in this video is because I was sent an email by one of you, and you asked about dialogues, question B tasks, where sometimes you are given the option, don't forget you don't have to do it, to write a dialogue. And the student was asking for some advice, and I went back and I said, just, are you not doing a play for your Leaving Cert? Not necessarily Shakespeare, but there's some great plays prescribed. Once Before I Go, The Ferryman is prescribed, isn't it? The Crucible, Sive. There's some brilliant plays prescribed for study. And I was coming home today, and that got me thinking about what I think is the play. Like, I'm teaching English the guts of 30 years, just short of it. And the course changes every year. So one of the great challenges, particularly because I've always worked in Lisa Street and now I'm working with you guys in Grind Street 60, is I've always had to read all the books prescribed because I'm teaching students that are doing loads of different texts. And I was trying to think, there was one that really stuck with me and got me and just stayed with me. And it's this. It's called Eclipsed, and it's by Patricia Burke Brogan. And without sounding like, Mr. Pretentious arsehole, I think it's a really important book. And without sounding like Mr. Patronising alpha, I think if it had been written by a man, it would be better known. It's a brilliant play. It's like 90 pages long, lads. You can literally read it in an hour. And it's about the Magdalen laundries. Something that we know quite a lot about now. Some of you are doing Claire Keegan, Small Things Like These, and you may be aware of the Magdalen laundries. But people like Patricia Burke Brogan and Elaine Aquilinon, an Irish poet, they were shining a light on this, travesty and injustice. When it was still going on. This play was written, first performed, I think it was 1992. And the Magdalen laundries were still very much, a thing in the early 1990s. It's populated by really beautifully drawn characters. Bridget, Nellie Nora, Mother Victoria, the woman who runs the laundry described in it. It's about injustice and escape and comradeship and the passage of time and trauma, and it's a celebration of resilience in the face of unimaginable difficulties. So if you want to read a book, I put it in the top 5 books I discovered through teaching the Leaving Cert. And I've discovered a lot of great books through teaching the Leaving Cert, many of which I'm going to discuss over the course of the next few weeks. That's, I think, my favourite play that I had never read before I did the Leaving Cert. And that's not in any way to say, well, otherwise it's not that good. It's an amazingly, brilliantly written story. I think it's an important book for any citizen of our country to read. And I think it's an important book for anybody who thinks that, the rights that we have are in stone when they're not. And I think it's an important book for you to read if you want to see how brilliantly a dramatist can use her talent to shine a light on an important social issue. So that's Eclipsed by the wonderful Patricia Burke Brogan. I never met you, Patricia. Fair play to you.